CJ's on Dame time as Lillard and McCollum head south of Portland to take LeBron to the promised land once again in sunny LA. It's fair to say CJ McCollum has been overlooked at Portland. The synonymous Lillard has forced himself into folklore with incredible performances and memorable clutch plays for the ages. But McCollum hasn't exactly stood in the shadows. McCollum's career average points per game is 18.9, and most notably his average points per game in the postseason is 20. For a number 2 guy, you can't fault his offensive production being the perfect assistant to Dame time Lillard. NBA's most improved player of 2016 is consistently good, which works well if you add consistently great to the equation. Damian Lillard sits high above McCollum in the offensive end with 25.7 average points per game in the playoffs and 24.7 in the regular season. However, when the man with the plan drops, McCollum is able to pick up the pieces. Lillard has long since argued that they are the best backcourt duo in the league. They are one of 4 duos in history to each score at least 250 points through the first 10 games of a season. You want to know the other 3? Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Pretty good company to be in. These 2 have an understanding like no other, so why split them up? Instead, offer a trade that brings both of them to your team and happily. Who can create such a vacuum to get this deal done? There's only one franchise shark circling the waters capable of securing such a prize. The Los Angeles Lakers, of course. Pretty much every asset the Lakers have will be involved in trade talks, minus LeBron. Kyle Kuzma gives himself a reasonable price tag but needs to rediscover the form that put him on the map in the 2019-2020 season. His form since then has disappointed most and created stirs that he could be sacrificed in many trade deals. KCP's 3-point effectiveness and star playoff performances of 2020 have given his stock a boost. Horton Tucker certainly sweetens any deal, as the 20-year-old could offer huge potential for any team considering his array of talents and unquestionably good field goal percentage. But that's not enough. How do you get Lillard and McCollum in the same trade? You have to offer up a big fish. And there's no bigger fish than Anthony Davis. Many will say it's insane to even put Davis in the conversation. But when you think about it, is it really that crazy? While AD enjoyed a wonderful start to his Lakers career with a championship in his opening season, he is one of the most injured stars in the league. He found himself on the Lakers injury report on numerous occasions this term with ankle, calf, and heel problems. In February, he was forced out for 30 games following an Achilles injury, and although he gained momentum in the back end of the season, he went down early in the playoffs, which eventually forced the Lakers out of contention and out of the playoffs. Known for coming into season out of shape, Anthony Davis could be at the short end of the Lakers' notorious brutal business strategy. And could you blame them? In exchange for some assets and their second best player, they get a clutch Lillard who will guarantee them 25 to 30 points a game and a sharp CJ McCollum whose additional points should put LeBron over the top for yet another championship. LeBron's patience is thinning due to his career clock thanks to Father Time. Every year has to be a winning year for James, so there's little time for trial and error anymore, particularly with players like Davis who seem more brittle than a biscuit. It's not that he doesn't appreciate AD, he'll just thank him and send him on his way. It's just business in a search of a 5th title and a further cemented place in history among the greats. So what's in it for Portland? They'll lose the 2 best players of the last 10 years and a name steeped in Trailblazers history. Of all the famous makes and buzzer beaters, the Blazers will miss Dame time more than anything. But what might replace it could be well worth it. A new beginning. Imagine Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Horton Tucker, a first-round pick, and Anthony Davis. Hell, if they have the space, they could probably pick up Montrezl Harrell or Dennis Schroeder, too. What you'd be looking at is an entire roster that, if they reach full potential, could be competitive for a title in 2 to 3 years' time. Right now, the Blazers look good, but the glitz of Dame time and CJ's magic masks the disappointing playoff runs. In the last 20 years, they've made it to the conference finals once. A forgettable sweep by a Golden State Warriors team missing Kevin Durant for the entire series. Other than that, they haven't been out of the second round, and the last 2 years have lost both first-round matchups to the Lakers and Nuggets respectively. The disappointment can't only fall on the Blazers' side either, as McCollum and Lillard must feel they're getting hard done by. A glimpse over the wall at a potential NBA final in 2019 seems to be firmly in the rearview mirror, as both players don't know how to fix the rest of their team in order to get them a shot at the title. Something's gotta give. Which is why a blockbuster blow-up trade seems imminent if both sides want to benefit. The Lakers wouldn't be able to get McCollum with some of their smaller assets, let alone Lillard. So AD has to be thrown in for good measure. Despite the Lakers threatening to take AD off the trade table altogether, the Blazers could raise an eyebrow with the double trouble backcourt. And if LeBron approves, you better believe it's goodbye and good luck to the 6'10" power forward. Let's not ignore LeBron's ability to woo players to his team. He's done it before and never shied away from admitting it. Nothing's impossible when it comes to a superstar. Take one look at Kawhi Leonard calling for the Clippers to provide him with another star. They duly obliged, and the Claw got his cake and swiftly left the North for the bright lights of Los Angeles. Which throws another question into the mix. Quality of life in LA for a 29 and 30-year-old Lillard and McCollum has to be enticing. No matter the life you lead, playing for the biggest team in a city that thrives on celebrity and stardom is surely a draw. Not to mention the stature of the Los Angeles Lakers themselves. Dame and CG have done their time at Portland. It's not like the fans would accuse them of being disloyal. It's an opportunity presenting itself at the right time for everyone. This way, the Lakers get an additional backcourt without injury, and the Blazers get to start over. It's a win-win. It's not enough to argue this could never happen when we've literally seen blockbuster trades like this before. Kevin Garnett's trade to the Celtics in 2007 involved 5 players and 2 first-round draft picks. In 2004, the Magic Rockets' Tracy McGrady trade involved a total of 7 players, 4 to one and 3 to the other, including now Clippers coach Ty Lue. The list goes on, with Shaq to the Heat, Kawhi to the Raptors, and most recently AD to the Lakers. Nothing is unusual in business, and at the end of the day, that's all these trades are, just business. It's easy to believe that the Lakers will seek out a more conservative mission in chasing the off-form Ben Simmons from Philadelphia. This way they get to keep AD and LeBron, thus adding to their arsenal. But ask yourself, which is a more appealing offer? A lackluster Simmons and an injury-prone AD? Or a consistent and confident duo in Dame and CJ? The answer looks obvious, but when you dig a little deeper to find that the recognition of 2 happy players who have chemistry already, rather than one injured and the other with an inability to shoot, is a better option. Dame and CJ are most definitely in their prime, whereas Simmons is yet to reach his full potential, and AD could well have just passed his. Age is deceiving when injuries are involved, and we suspect there's more to come in what will be a more demanding schedule next year, as the NBA has hinted that it's likely to go back to normal for 2021-2022. An extra load of games need an extra load of depth, and if the Lakers are to try and get a more favorable seeding with home court advantage, they need their stars playing regular season games. Yes, they'll have dumped a bunch of bench players in this trade, but they'll have succeeded in bringing in 2 stars who can provide much-needed regular season production for LeBron to ensure there's no first-round meeting with the likes of this year's Phoenix Suns. In conclusion, for this trade to happen, proof has to be provided that it's a good deal for all, and so far the only one we can see truly missing out is Anthony Davis. Surely he'd rather stay on a potential championship-winning team than a rebuild roster without any stars. But this isn't about Anthony Davis. Right now the Lakers revolve around 2 things: championships and LeBron. And yes, those things are mutually exclusive. What LeBron wants, LeBron gets. And he'll likely make the call for the backcourt duo who deserve more than a buzzer beater a year and a conference final bashing in what could be their happiest time together in the purple and gold.